guess so I just wanted to start off by asking, you did not direct the original film, correct?
No.
You didn't. Okay, so how did you end up getting involved with the TV series?
So a lot of people like our producers and our uh, EP, they kind of know me from other DreamWorks project that I've worked on before. And so when our producer, Rachel, her name is Rachel, and she called me saying like, "Hey, Ruolin, I have this perfect project for you. Are you interested?" It's like about Abominable, but extension of that, making it into a TV show. I jumped at the chance because like I'm Chinese. I'd love to work on a show about a Chinese girl and her magical adventures.
That's amazing. Did the previous directors were they involved in this project at all, or did you just kind of was this all you?
I don't think so. Yeah, this TV show is its own new thing, I'd say.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, the process of making an animated series is obviously different than a live action. I mean, Abominable was about like an hour and a half, I think. And then we had 10 episodes here. So how long did it take you to put this whole season together?
You mean like in terms of writing?
Just kind of the how long was the process of just bringing it all together?
I'd say it's like a typical TV series. So they spend months writing pre-production, like taking the original script from or the movie, and then our amazing showrunner Catherine and our story editor Ethel and Tiff, they come together and then expand that world into multiple fantastical creatures and multiple stories every episode, like for however many. Yeah, that takes months of pre-production. And then we come in and do our storyboard, we do our design. That's another year. So like I'd say this whole TV series probably take about 2 years to produce.
Oh wow, that feels like a while. Wow, that's crazy.
That's a lot of work going into
you never
shows.
realize like how much work goes into like just a short season like that. So that's super cool. Well, I'm thinking that it's not easy to really take an existing film and making a series out of it as much as, I mean, it feels easier to maybe take sorry, I said that wrong. But what I was trying to say was, there's so many ways to keep a story going when you're taking a show and turning it into a movie. But when you're taking a movie and turning it into a show, it feels a little bit more complex just because movies kind of have that beginning and end point. So did you run into any challenges with this?
I feel like Abominable series is focused on this fantastical, legendary Chinese creatures. That in itself is almost like an expandable idea. And like, you can just say, oh, Everest is our first in line. And then we can just come in and bring in all the other fantastical creatures. And there are so many of them. We can just expand our characters in, flesh out their daily lives and flesh out their stories and say, okay, we were introduced with Jin, Yi, and Peng in the original movie, but what are they really like in day-to-day lives? Do they go to school? Do they have their struggles and then their family business and all that stuff? So yeah, it's almost no-brainer to make this into a series because you have so many stories to tell and explore.
Well, you mentioned, because this show is about like a bunch of magical creatures. Do you have a favorite of the ones that you guys have created this season?
So many are like the combination of just heart and funny. I think my favorite is probably Todd, the toad, and Morty, the pangolin, I guess, the pangolin inspired creature. They're kind of tied for me. They're both really funny. Their stories are funny, and the adventure that they throw our kids into are just so fun to watch.
And what about the musical aspect of this? I mean, Yi can obviously make flowers bloom with her violin. Is that going to continue to be a big part of the story?
Yes, absolutely. So Yi's magical violin is part of what makes her feel like she has that kind of sense of responsibility and her destiny to continue to explore these fantastical elements in life and then keep helping these creatures. And then sometimes her music helps her, sometimes her music stumps her, like giving her like, oh, you know, is this magic mine, or is this magic like it's outside of my control? And so for her, working with her magical violin and find out her, you know, true self is also a important step in her sort of like finding herself
Well,
journey.
I mean, all the characters are great, and I'm sure as a director, it's hard to pick a favorite. But is there one that, you know, I guess just from a director's standpoint, that is really fun to play around with creatively?
I think I love Jin the most if I have to pick one, but then I'd say equally Jin, Peng, and Yi, their dynamic is just so sweet and so like fun to watch. All three of them kind of banter together, and then their personality difference like play off of each other. Like Jin is this kind of like a little bit vain, a little bit cocky, but also at the same time, he's a little bit of a wimp and he's scared of a lot of things. And so that is really fun to watch. And then E is selfless and he's very ambitious, very driven. So she is the straight lace and always like, you know, let's go, go, go. And Peng is always like the fun, laid back, like, oh, you know, chill, let's have some fun. So all three of them put together this perfect dynamic. So I love them all. And not to mention Nai Nai is also a really funny character a lot of times
Yes.
too.
Oh my gosh, she's great.
Yeah.
I think she might be my favorite.
That's awesome. Yeah, she's just this like a really cute but also fierce little lady that
Yeah.
you don't want to mess with.
Well, lastly, I just wanted to ask you like what your plans were for the show. Is this a limited series, or is this something that you hope you'll be able to keep going?
I don't think I can say more at this point, but we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully
Okay.
everybody enjoyed the first season, and yeah, we'll see.
All right, cool. Well, that was all I have for you. Thanks so much for chatting with me today.
Thank you so much, Rachel. It was fun.